Miami traveled there to Paint Creek to get some answers.
5 hours west of Dallas lies Paint Creek, a tiny village with 300 inhabitants. Rick Perry was born in this Texas countryside town 61 years ago. One main road, no shopping mall. Paint Creek only wakes up on Friday night for the football game.
Let's go, Paint Creek!
Support for the presidential candidate seems unanimous. Perry was born and raised here, and even played for the team when he was 15 years old.
Coming from a farming background and to go all the way and become the governor, and now he's running for the president, I think it's good.
And I think he'll be a strong candidate for the United States. Because here we're kind of sheltered in this area. You don't have all the big city corruption.
As a teenager, Rick Perry studied at this high school, just like the current principal, and Don Ballard says he shares the same values as his former classmate.
He has a strong Christian background and belief. There was not a lot of money at that particular time, and I know he grew up. One year you'd have a good crop, the next year you may have a crop failure, and I think that's where he learned his values of the value of a dollar.
Rick Perry began his political career under a Democratic banner. He was first elected to the Texas Parliament and then changed sides in 1989 to become a Republican. Yet he retained support among the local Democrats.
Hey, you're the keeper. I'll always think of him as a hometown boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we surprised that he's where he is? I don't think so.
No, not at all.
I don't think so. We're not surprised. We just wish he'd stayed a Democrat.
My brother said.
The governor's parents still live in the family home. Rick Perry has requested they not give interviews to the press. Waller Overton is a neighbor and friend. In the 60s, he was Rick Perry's scout leader. His ties to the family don't stop him from criticizing the governor's political decisions. For him, going from the Democratic to the Republican Party is a sign of opportunism.
Why did he change? Did he have a revelation and say, this is not for me? I think a lot of these decisions he's bringing out now are probably based on political influences to draw the right to his side. Anytime he had an election and got in trouble, he'd lean for the right and get those voters.
Waller criticizes Rick Perry's position on social welfare and his opposition to gay marriage. But this Democrat farmer is among the minority in Paint Creek opposing the governor. In the 2010 governor race, Rick Perry received 60% of votes in this country. The support for the hometown boy helped him to become governor of Texas.
And I'm now joined from Miami by our correspondent, Andy Rovira. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
Now, to start off with, let's talk about the defining moments of Rick Perry's campaign so far. And there have been quite a few comments of his that have caused controversy.
Yes. Well, Rick Perry is very charismatic, and he rose very quickly in the polls. But there's a lot of controversy surrounding this campaign, starting with his views on Social Security. He claimed that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, and he plans to abolish it. Then there's also the issue with the executive order that he implemented while he was governor of Texas, that he planned to make girls take HPV vaccines, a vaccine that prevents cervical cancer. Then there's also the issue with immigration. He seems to be very soft on the issue and is very much against border walls, and this is something that really won't win the hearts of the conservative Republicans.
Now, one crucial issue in this campaign, of course, is the economy. Many Americans worried about the economy and unemployment. What's Rick Perry's take on this?
Yeah, like you said, one of the biggest issues facing this country right now is unemployment, and he proved that he could get the ball rolling in that field. When he was governor of Texas for 3 terms, a large percentage of jobs in this country were in Texas. Now, for Perry, the right way to stop this economy from crumbling is to cut taxes on employers, to get rid of Obamacare and all the regulations that came with Obamacare, and to restructure taxes on a personal and corporate level as well.
Now, there's still a while to go, obviously, with campaigning, and it's, I imagine, quite difficult to tell at this stage, but would you say it's looking like Rick Perry will regain the top spot and get nominated?
Well, let's see what happens in the next debates, but judging on the last Tea Party debate on September 12th, things really weren't looking good for him. A lot of political analysts regarded him as somebody that can't really carry himself on camera. They actually compared him to George W. Bush. Mitt Romney seems a lot more sure of himself on camera, and he challenges his controversial ideals. And it's these controversial ideals that will really prevent him from getting nominated.
Now, we heard in the report that we played of yours a little bit earlier that Perry used to be a Democrat. I imagine that would make it hard for him to win support from the Tea Party.
Yeah. Well, the fact that he was a former Democrat really shouldn't come to play in the matter. The fact is he has a great record as a governor. He's a great campaigner. However, he did strongly support Hillary Clinton's health care reform when she was the first lady. So these are things that could really, not be on the good side for the Tea Party.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens there, obviously. But if he were nominated, if he were to be the Republican candidate for the 2012 presidential election, he'd be up against Barack Obama, of course. What do you think his chances then of beating the president would be?
His chances right now seem slim. Romney is a lot more steady and sure of himself, is what it seems like. A lot of the political analysts are regarding Perry as a risky candidate. We're at a very fragile point in America right now where a lot of Republicans, they're trying hard to not get anybody nowhere near Obama. And right now it seems like Mitt Romney is the likelier of the two. However, Perry is a very strong campaigner, and it's still very, very early on in the campaign. So it's hard to tell. Things might turn around.
Things might turn around indeed. Okay, thank you very much, Andy Rovira, for joining us from Miami. And that's it for Focus. Do stay tuned to France 24. More news coming right up.